just going to tell a little story about my grandfather. He actually used to live in the country backwoods of Crawfordsville, Indiana. For all you that don't know where that is, it's the middle of nowhere. All it is cornfields and country homes. Anyway, my grandfather was out doing some stuff in the field one day, and his neighbor Ned stopped by and asked him if he could borrow his jack just to fix his car. Said he would have it back by that night. My grandfather, of course, said, "Hey, no problem. I'll help you out. Here you go." Later on that night, my grandfather started heading out to his buddy's house to pick up some items that he had from him to do some more work on the field. On the way out to the house there, my grandfather blew his tire. He pulls over to the side of the street, pops his trunk, grabs out his tire iron, and then he went to go grab his jack. Realized at that point in time that he gave it to Ned and said, "You gotta be kidding me." Long before cell phones were ever created, he didn't know what to do. He started wondering how far he was looking. In Crawfordsville, Indiana, every house is 3, 4, 5 miles away. It's not a big city, So he starts looking around and happens to see a farmhouse about a mile out. It's through a cornfield that had just been tilled. He said, "Oh, no problem." He said, "Look at that. The farmer's light's on. That guy will definitely let me use his jack." So my grandfather starts walking up towards the house and gets about a quarter of the way there. And he starts thinking to himself, he said, "Man, what if this guy doesn't let me use his jack?" And he's like, nah. He starts walking again. And if you've ever walked through a field of tilled corn, it's like walking through sand on the beach. It's like thick sand. It's a little bit tougher to walk, and especially for an older gentleman like my grandfather. So, he's trudging through this stuff, and he gets about halfway through the field, and he said, "Man, what if this guy really doesn't let me use his jack?" My grandfather said, Nah, he'll let me use it, whatever. And he continues to walk up there. Finally, my grandfather gets to this gentleman's house, the old farmer's house, and knocks on a door. And lo and behold, the farmer comes out just like my grandpa expected. "Hey, what's going on? How can I help you?" My grandpa looks at him, he says, "You can't, and you can take that jack and shove it up your ass." My grandpa turns around and walks away. This is exactly what a lot of salesmen do, and that's why I told this story. Is if you're out going out to do sales here, a lot of times, we get that belief in our head that, that sometimes people aren't going to buy, and usually it's not on the good days. The good days, anybody can have a good day and a good day. It's what I mean by this is you start off the day, and the first 5 people you talk to, you sold 3 or 4 of them. Okay, sometimes you even sold the first 5, and you're on fire. And guess what? That's the easiest day in the world to have good days. The days that I appreciate my salesmen going out, and I respect them most for, is the days when you go out and you take 35 no's in a row and you come out swinging and come out and outsell everybody in the entire office. The guy that comes out and crushes it and says, "I don't care how bad the day is, I'm making things happen today." And a lot of times what salesmen will do is they get out there and they take a couple of no's. They get 10, 15 no's in a row, and pretty soon you get it in your head just like my grandfather did, and you say, "Man, there's no buyers out here. Nobody's going to buy today. There's no way in heck I'm going to make these sales." And pretty soon every door you go up to, people see it in your face. Nobody wants to be the first or last person to buy something. I'll say this in many videos that I'll create, and I'll say it to every salesman I ever meet. Nobody wants to be the first person to buy something because nobody wants to be the first person to get scammed. Whether it's a scam or not, that's irrelevant. That's just what people have in their heads. They don't want to be the first person to buy something and get duped if it is. Nobody wants to be the last person to buy something because they don't want their friends coming up saying, "Hey, did you get this? Look at this awesome thing, da-da-da." Nobody wants to be left out, and the Jones effect is real. People want what other people have. So if you seem like you're selling a whole bunch of stuff, everybody wants to buy it. So when you go up there and you've had a crappy day and you walk up there believing that nobody's going to buy, pretty soon in their eyes, they see you and they're looking in your eyes. You're just like, just say no, let's move on. Your pitch isn't the same. Instead of you walking up, "Hey, what's going on? My name's Eric. Here's what we're doing." You're more like, "Hey, what's going on? Here's what it is, da-da-da-da-da." And you're kind of waiting for the no. You're kind of expecting it, So that's exactly what you're going to get. So today when you wake up, you sneak out to the field and you go out to crush in your game of sales. Start believing that people are going to say yes. I don't care how many no's you've taken. It's a law of averages. It's a game. It's a numbers game. See enough people, you're guaranteed to have success. Are you going to take no's today? Absolutely. If you don't take no's, I would be extremely surprised if you're a salesman. If you don't take no's, you probably didn't go out and talk to anybody. But if you go out and talk to people, you're going to take no's. The secret to success in sales is the person that sees the most people and that's the most prepared, they make the most money. So you got to decide who you want to be today. You want to be the guy that makes the most money, or you want to come back with the most excuses and have the most failures? I hope this video helped out. Subscribe to my channel.